in my junior and senior year of college for electrical engineering, I developed a tumor in my neck. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know what all of that meant. And I went to the doctor and they said, well, you got a lump in your neck and here, let's schedule for surgery. And let's do a biopsy first. And we're going to do surgery. And depending on the biopsy, if it's cancer, we're going to cut the whole thing out. And if it's not cancer, we're going to cut half of the thyroid out. I thought, I don't want to cut anything out. So they said I had Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism. I didn't know what any of that meant. So I went to grandma because she's the one who knew about health and healing. And it turned out, she said, well, no matter what it is, you go see the doctor or not, it doesn't change the fact you have to stop eating junk food, that you have to eat really well, eat really clean, infuse yourself with all kinds of minerals and vitamins and nutrients, get out in the sun, get good sleep, get exercise. Basically, it makes no difference how they want to call the disease. You have to do the right thing. You have to do the correct strategy as far as health goes in order to get as healthy as possible, that your body can take care of it. And she basically said, your body can take care of almost anything if you give it the right conditions. So I went to the doctor anyway. They wanted to do some biopsy, but she did tell me that just be careful because, once they get you on the train, it's hard to get off the train. So I didn't do the biopsy. The doctor, I was kind of asking him what was going on. And, I wanted more questions. The main thing she told me to ask him is, what's the cause of this? And if we don't know the cause and you start cutting things out, or if you start doing, drug treatments, won't it come back somewhere else if you don't remove the cause? And so he was kind of irritated at me. I don't know why.
Good question.
Questions.
Really good question.
And so I just got the sense that I wasn't really going to be helped there. So I just asked him, what is the worst case scenario, just in case. He said, well, worst case scenario is you have 5 years if it's really aggressive, if it actually is cancer. And then best case is it just sits there and nothing, doesn't do anything and it's benign. So as an engineer, they teach you to, solve problems as though they're the worst case scenario. So I just went off the deep end thinking that it's the worst case scenario. So I started reading just like my grandma did. I started reading everything she gave me, read everything I could, tried a whole bunch of things that I could try to, basically the idea was to try to get my body as healthy as humanly possible. And in all of that, I tried different diets, the raw vegan diet, the vegan diet. I tried all kinds of different types of supplements and pills and potions and powders and all kinds of different things. Similar in kind of your journey as you went through this thing. It was really interesting to read some of the things. I was like, oh yeah, I remember I came across this and that, and it was really interesting. And so in all of this, my grandma said, well, there's also this like crazy water fasting clinic up in Northern California, and you may want to go check them out because they can help as well. So I called, Dr. Goldhammer. I looked it up, thought it was really interesting. They were applying all of these things that I had read about, but all in one particular place. So they were able to do all of those things. So I called Dr. Goldhammer, scheduled a fast. He told me, make sure you eat pretty good before you come do the fast. And I went up there, did the fast, and I was scheduled to do 30 days of water fasting. So I was about the same size I was now. So 30 days of water fasting is a lot. I did not realize just how tough it would be.
Oh man.
And I only lasted like 5 days.
Yeah.
So, but apparently that was enough because the next ultrasound I got a few months later, and then every follow-up after that, the tumor shrunk like 80%. So that was really encouraging. And the autoimmune disease went away, and so did the hypothyroidism. The thyroid levels went back to normal.
5-day water fast, and then you followed up with an ultrasound and it had shrunk, but then it just continued to shrink. And did you do any more fasting during that period of time?
Yeah, I did a few fasts here and there, and then I just followed it up. I stopped doing ultrasounds because they were, the insurance wouldn't continually do ultrasound unless you're treating it. So I stopped doing ultrasounds, but it's still there, but it's like 80, 90% smaller than it was in the beginning. So, and the blood tests I follow up with every year, and they're all, remain normal. So the most interesting part of the fast is that I had been struggling, like I think a lot of people do, when even though they know they're supposed to go to eat the right foods and stay away from junk foods and whatnot, even if that they know conceptually what to do, it was really difficult to do. And so avoiding the, more, processed vegan food, or even the, processed salty, richer, fatty foods, it can be really tough and difficult. And so what I noticed is that after the fast, my taste buds had gotten so sensitive that healthy food actually tasted really, really good. And so that allowed me to break that cycle and then get that momentum back so that I could get back on the healthy foods. So that was really, really interesting to watch that happen in myself. And then now I do that with patients. So.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, why not subscribe? Here's a link to do that. And if you'd like to watch the full interview, you can find it at chrisbeatcancer.com. There's a link to it in the description right below this video.